Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-Wen is stepping down as leader of her party. Tsai campaigned in local elections on a platform of defiance against China and upholding Taiwan's democracy. But voters instead flocked to the main opposition party.
A startling outcome in Taiwan's local elections. Generally, these polls focus on domestic issues that hit voters close to home. But President Tsai Ing-Wen took a different approach. In the face of an increasingly belligerent China, she sought to frame local votes as a fight for Taiwan's freedom and democracy. The strategy backfired.
The results of the election are not as we expected. We humbly accept them. As chair of the ruling party, I have to take responsibility. I therefore resign from my position of party chair.
By dragging international issues into a domestic election, analysts say Tsai lost the attention of citizens more concerned with crime rates and a surge in COVID-19. It's been a difficult year for relations between Taiwan and China. In August, tensions rose to their highest level in years, when Beijing effectively blockaded the island with a series of huge military exercises. The drills followed a controversial visit to Taipei by US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, which China saw as a provocation. Taiwan's opposition, the KMT, has long accused Tsai of being too confrontational towards China. Scoring strong gains in these elections, the KMT insists it will also focus on protecting Taiwan's freedoms. Despite resigning as party leader, Tsai will continue as president until 2024. But her job just became a lot more difficult.
For more on this story, let's get across to DW's William Young in Taipei. William, Tsai made China a focus of her campaign, and that has backfired. What do you think that means for Taiwan's China policy going forward?
I think it simply clearly shows that that platform did not resonate well with voters at the local level. As the report has already said, the voters care a lot more about everyday life issues in this election, and they also care a lot about who they are going to elect that is going to bring more benefits to their everyday life. So these China factors and China threats have really been put out on the back burner for most of the voters. We are likely not going to see much change to Taiwan's China policy, as in fact over the last 6 years or so, there have been very little official dialogue or exchanges or communication between the two sides. And with the rising threats and also provocation from China since the U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited in August, it is only going down the trend that Taiwan is going to strengthen its national security and sovereignty in the event of the growing threat from China. But it will be interesting to see how the China factor starts to be played out over the next year as we enter into a very different election cycle, which is the next presidential election cycle in 2024.
And what do you expect to happen there? Do you see these results as a potential indicator for what we might see in 2024?
Right. So yesterday's result actually will give us some clue about who might be promoted to be the front runner from each party in the 2024 election. For the DPP, with Tsai Ing-wen stepping down, she is going to make way for the likely successor that will probably be the current Vice President William Lai. As for the KMT, the new Taipei City Mayor Hou You-yi, who won a landslide yesterday with a record number of vote winning, he is likely going to be able to convince his party to throw unity behind him for the 2024 bid. And another person to look out for is the outgoing Taipei City Mayor, who his party was the third largest party, but still relatively slow, but they were able to actually secure one very important race in this election, and that could translate into his calculation into measuring the effect of his party's national appeal to the voters in the 2024 election.
Okay, those are the ones to watch then. Thank you so much. That's DW's William Yang reporting from Taipei.
Thank you.